Explosive allegations, leaked medical records. A child caught in the middle of a storm. The ongoing saga between reality TV personality and rapper Chrisean Rock and hip-hop artist Blueface has just reached another boiling point. And this time, it's about more than toxic love or social media drama. It's about allegations of abuse during pregnancy, the serious medical issues facing their infant son, and a heated battle over who is truly responsible for the child's condition. Tonight, we're breaking down the full timeline, from shocking claims of violence to leaked hospital records, and from the couple's turbulent relationship to the very public clash between families, fans, and critics. It's a story that has unfolded in real time on Instagram Live, podcast interviews, and gossip blogs, and the details are as disturbing as they are heartbreaking. The latest wave of controversy began with Chrisean's disturbing recollection of a night in Las Vegas. In a raw emotional statement, she described sitting on the corner of a bed while heavily pregnant when, according to her, Blueface launched a brutal assault. She claims he told her, if you move, your stomach gonna bleed. I'ma kill this baby. You gonna be bleeding for a month on schoolyard crib. The threat, she says, was followed by repeated blows to her body. But the allegations didn't stop there. Chrisean went on to claim that the violence escalated to a point that would shock even the most cynical observers. She says Blueface ran her over with a car while she was 6 to 7 months pregnant. The mental image alone is harrowing. A young woman carrying a child, allegedly struck and left injured by the father of that very child. This revelation was more than just another social media spat. It reignited a debate that has been smoldering for months, about abuse, accountability, and the impact such traumatic experiences can have on an unborn child. Following the alleged Vegas incident, Chrisean began directly linking her son's health issues to the abuse she says she endured while pregnant. In interviews and live streams, she pointed to those violent episodes as a possible cause for the medical complications now facing her infant. But in an unexpected twist of self-reflection, she also admitted that she bears some responsibility for staying in the relationship despite the abuse. That acknowledgement, however, didn't silence critics. Many online commentators, and even people close to Blueface, pointed out that throughout her pregnancy, Chrisean was repeatedly seen smoking and drinking. Footage from Instagram Lives and public appearances showed her ignoring repeated pleas from fans to put the substances down. For those observers, her own decisions during pregnancy couldn't be ignored when discussing her child's health. And yet, Chrisean's focus remained fixed on the alleged abuse, arguing that the emotional and physical trauma she endured was a major, if not the primary, factor behind her baby's condition. The debate over who's to blame intensified when sensitive medical documents, allegedly belonging to her baby, Chrisean Jr., surfaced online. The records appeared to confirm some of the worst fears that had been swirling around social media for months. They listed a staggering array of diagnoses: fetal alcohol syndrome, neonatal abstinence syndrome, seizure disorder, spasticity, cortical visual impairment, and a need for ongoing specialist care. For those unfamiliar, fetal alcohol syndrome is caused by alcohol exposure during pregnancy and can lead to developmental delays, behavioral issues, and physical abnormalities. Neonatal abstinence syndrome occurs when a baby is exposed to drugs in the womb and then experiences withdrawal after birth. The presence of both conditions in the same medical file set off alarm bells. It seemed to lend weight to critics who had long accused Chrisean of substance abuse during pregnancy, accusations that were previously dismissed by her as baseless rumors. The leak sparked outrage on both sides. Some saw it as a gross violation of privacy, while others viewed it as proof that Chrisean's critics had been right all along. One of the loudest voices challenging Chrisean's narrative came from Blueface's own mother, Chrisean. In interviews and social media posts, she defended her son and suggested that Chrisean was painting herself as the victim while ignoring her own reckless behavior. Saffold's frustration was palpable. She argued that Blueface was already quietly serving time without complaining, and now, in her words, they're trying to pile on more stuff on him. She pointed to the fact that Blueface has 2 other children who were born healthy, using this as evidence that the alleged abuse could not be solely responsible for Chrisean Jr.'s condition. But her criticism didn't stop there. Saffold accused Chrisean of being the aggressor in the relationship and of ignoring repeated medical and family advice to stop drinking and using drugs while pregnant. According to her, those choices, not alleged abuse, were the real culprits behind the baby's health struggles. To understand how this all unraveled, we have to go back to early 2023. That's when Chrisean first announced her pregnancy to the world, sharing photos of multiple positive tests on Instagram. While fans flooded her comments with congratulations, Blueface publicly denied being the father. He claimed their relationship was over and questioned her fidelity, suggesting that a DNA test would be needed to confirm paternity. The drama quickly escalated when Blueface's mother entered the picture, outright denying the pregnancy and insinuating that Chrisean was lying. She went so far as to say, "Absolutely not pregnant." That man would lose his license for allowing such an exercise. Meanwhile, Chrisean's pregnancy unfolded in full public view, and it was anything but quiet. Her appearances on social media often showed her partying, drinking, and smoking. Even DJ Academics got pulled into the story when he FaceTimed her during a live stream and caught her smoking a joint despite being visibly pregnant. The clip went viral, sparking heated debates about whether she was fit to be a mother. Adding another layer of drama, Blueface's mother went live on Instagram to confront Chrisean's sister, Tessa, and her friends. She accused them of watching Chrisean abuse substances during pregnancy and doing nothing to stop it. Not because they agreed with it, but because they feared losing access to her money. Saffold claimed that if she had been in their position, she would have intervened, even if it meant risking her relationship with Chrisean. These confrontations made one thing clear: this wasn't just a fight between Chrisean and Blueface. It had become an all-out family feud, with each side accusing the other of enabling toxic behavior. After Chrisean Jr. was born, the controversies didn't fade, they multiplied. Not long after his arrival, Blueface was sent to jail for a probation violation, leaving Chrisean to care for the baby on her own. But instead of gaining public sympathy, Chrisean faced even more backlash. She was filmed taking her infant into a smoke shop, prompting calls for Child Protective Services to step in. Around the same time, she debuted a massive face tattoo of Blueface, despite their history of breakups, fights, and public humiliations. This decision drew criticism from celebrities and influencers, including Tia Kemp, who urged Chrisean to focus on motherhood rather than rekindling a toxic romance. Kemp even questioned why, at his age, Chrisean Jr. wasn't yet walking or running. Comments that Chrisean fired back at, telling Kemp to call her directly instead of speaking on her publicly. The leaked medical records seemed to change everything. While Chrisean had previously denied that anything was wrong with her baby, the documents appeared to confirm that he faced multiple serious health challenges, many of which are linked to substance exposure during pregnancy. For her critics, this was the smoking gun. For her defenders, it was a reason to show compassion, arguing that she was a young mother in a toxic relationship who needed support, not condemnation. But the biggest question remained: if the records were real, what role did Blueface's alleged abuse play? Could the violence she described in Vegas have contributed to her son's condition? Or were the diagnoses more directly tied to her own admitted and alleged actions during pregnancy? The answer, for now, remains murky. As of June 2025, Chrisean has publicly accused Blueface of assaulting her during pregnancy, including the Vegas incident and the car incident. Blueface, still incarcerated, has not responded directly to the allegations. Public opinion remains split. Some see Chrisean as a victim of abuse who made mistakes in a desperate situation. Others see her as an unreliable narrator, using abuse allegations to deflect from her own responsibility in her child's condition. What's undeniable is that this story is far from over. The child at the center of this controversy is facing a lifetime of potential challenges, and both parents remain in the glare of public scrutiny. In the court of public opinion, verdicts have already been passed, but in the real world, the truth may take much longer to emerge. So what's your take? Is this a tragic story of abuse and neglect, or a cautionary tale about the dangers of living your entire life online? Should the blame fall on one parent, or is this a case where both bear responsibility? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned, because in this story, the drama never sleeps.